Horror Lies.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Australian Horror Week on BodyBags. It's week 166, and I'm your Sunday host, Bourgie86, here again. Yes, as you can know, this week was Australian Horror Week, which was very exciting. I was very interested to see what films my co-hosts would pick this week, and very interesting because I did see a few of them. There was a few that I actually haven't seen, like my buddy Andy's review for this Saturday. It's a film I actually never seen, and it's kind of an obscure one, which is cool because I always like to hear about like obscure films from other countries also. So that was a very cool review. There was a bunch of them, like Black Water, which Matt reviewed, which was an alligator film, which I actually do enjoy that film. I have seen it before, and his review actually reminded me I had to pick up a copy of that really soon. But of course, our Tuesday host, Marnie, which is the most interesting review because she's actually an Australian, as you can tell, and it's very interesting to hear like Australians' point of view of their own certain films at some point, because I know a lot of like, especially with like the earlier day like Ozploitation and / Aussie horror films, there's a lot of like mixed conceptions about them with the Australian side of it, but still a cool thing to see like good positive reviews for their own films in their own country. So that's always good in the hood, in my opinion. But I decided to do an older one for you guys today, and this film, of course, is from 1979. And it's one that I actually never really seen a review for this online or anywhere when I was thinking about doing this one. So I decided why not and give it a try and review it for you guys. And that, of course, is The Plumber. Yes. It comes in this sexy 2 double feature with The Cars That Ate Paris. Now, if you're thinking why are these films paired together, well, they actually share the same director. The Plumber is directed by Peter Weir. Yes. If you don't know about his filmography, of course, involves a lot of early like Ozploitation classics, including The Cars That Ate Paris. That's his first major film when he came out in the circle of filmmaking. And he also directed Picnic at Hanging Rock, The Last Wave. He went on to direct Gallipy with Mel Gibson. And then he went into like the mainstream audience with like a bunch of like early like 90s / American films like Dead Poet Society with Robin Williams, which he was nominated for Academy Award for. And he also directed The Truman Show with Jim Carrey, which is a film I actually highly enjoy. I usually watch that film with my mom all the time, and I had no idea who Peter Weir was at the time of when that film came out. And he's directed a few other films that I actually do enjoy. He's actually a very well-known director in the States and stuff. And he's probably one of the few examples of like a Ozploitation director that actually made it past like his Ozploitation films, because a few of them did go into the American filmmaking, but they did not have like some of the greatest American films in my opinion, which is kind of sad because their direction and work is in their own territories of Aussie is way better than some of their American films in my opinion. Now let's get more back into The Plumber. This is a 1979 made-for-TV film for Australia, which actually did have a theatrical release in the States, which I find very interesting. Now, the main plot of this one, we're introduced to our main character, Jill, who's this young student of anthropology whose husband's actually a doctor, who's very out and about. He actually leaves Jill alone for most of due to his work and stuff. And unbeknownst to him, one day she gets a knock on the door, and we meet Max, who is the city plumber. Now, they're not expecting the plumber to come. They never called him. But the way Max gets into the house is that he was ordered to go there to check all the pipes in the building. And what ends up happening is he ends up coming back day and day because he never finishes the job, per se. And what ends up happening is this weird, like, psychological, like, aspect where Jill thinks Max is up to something more than meets the eye, and has kind of like a very voyeuristic way of her trying to get into the house and stuff, and it's pretty much more turns into like this psychological thrill ride through the rest of the film. That is pretty much the main plot without going too deep into it. Now, my thoughts on this film. This is a very interesting film. Like, most of the actors in it are TV soap stars from Australia. Like, what is the name of the main actress? Judy Morris as Jill. Does a terrific job in the role, I have to say. It's a really intense role, and I love how her character develops throughout the 76 minutes of the film. And Robert Colby, that's how you pronounce his last name, plays her husband, and they have like a great interaction because when he's at work, he actually doesn't get the meat mac, so he kind of brushes it off that maybe might be taking it a little too far, you know what I mean? And now getting to the actor who plays Max, Irv Katz, he's just fucking terrific in his role. The first scene where we're introduced to him, we don't get to see like his face until he actually does knock on the door. We see like the gloves and his like outfit and his walk and his stance. And it's just a terrific way to introduce like a character that you know is something's gonna be up with this character, and we had to pay attention to this character throughout the film. And it's just a very intense like role for any actor to take. And I love how like the interaction between him and Jill goes throughout the film. And it has a very interesting like concept because there is one scene where we know that Jill doesn't want this guy in this house anymore, and it's up to him to like, what he does is he fixes everything, but he does it half-assed type of way. And what ends up happening is the pipes actually burst, and it ruins Jill's husband's big dinner that he's having guests over for the job and the thing that's going on with his work. So it ends up that they end up having to call Max back to the scene to actually fix the problem. So he knows like how to get back in because he is a plumber and stuff, and he knows about pipes and stuff. So you know there is an alternative moment to his character. But the one downside of this film is its ending. It is kind of abrupt because it is a TV film. I did kind of like how it was going. I just wish it had like a little more tension build towards the reveal and what was going on with it. But really fun film. It was a really gem to see like this early 70s like Australian TV film that Peter Weir did, and right before he did like Gallopy, which was probably the thing that got him bigger into like the Hollywood circle with like his Hollywood films. So really interesting watch. If I had to rate The Plumber, I'm just going to give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. Since it is a TV film, it does feel kind of like cut down and stuff with like the tension and the build-up. But it's a really gripping watch, and I do still recommend it. This does not have a release in the United States, as I know of. The only way you could get it is through like this double feature that was released by Umbrella releasing. Really cool stuff, and it is region free. So if you are interested in this, check this out. The Cars That Ate Paris is also a very interesting film. I do plan on maybe doing a review on that down in the future. Not sure when yet. But The Plumber, really interesting film and really cool concept. I really like how that one went down. So I do recommend this double feature from Umbrella. Good stuff to see like an early like Academy Award nominated filmmaker, the films he did before and stuff. So cool stuff. So yeah, The Plumber, 7.5 out of 10. Alright guys, that's it for Aussie Week on BodyBags. I hope you enjoyed the week. Very interesting like variety of different like subgenres and stuff that this country has put together, and all stuff Aussie is good in my opinion. I love tons of like Ozploitation films like I stated, and really good stuff. And as always, next week we'll be back to random reviews, and don't know what the theme week for the end of the month is going to be yet, so we'll find that out soon for you guys. So I'll see you then. Peace out.